People test you, and you fail the test without ever knowing it was given. Someone speaks over you in the room, and your face moves before you do. A small jab lands, and they watch your eyes flinch, your jaw tighten, the quick heat climb up your neck. You answer too fast, or too loud, or you say nothing and let it show how much the nothing cost you, and they file it away. They learn in that 1 second exactly which strings to pull, and they will pull them for the rest of the time they know you. You feel this happening and you cannot stop it. You have promised yourself you would stay calm, that next time you would not give them the reaction, that you would be the steady one in the room for once. And then the moment comes, and the heat rises, and you are dragged out of yourself again, reacting to a person who has not spent a single ounce of effort to move you. Here is the thing no one will say to your face. You are not disrespected because you are weak. You are disrespected because you are easy to read. Your inside is written all over your outside, and every person you meet can see the weather changing across your face before you have even decided what you feel. That is what makes you easy to dismiss. Not your size, not your words, your transparency. By the end of this, you will know the one warrior habit that turns a readable man into an unreadable one. You will know why a quiet person can walk into a room of louder, faster, more aggressive people and own it without raising his voice once. And you will understand why the most dangerous man in any room is almost never the one who looks dangerous. 400 years ago, in a country of narrow roads and sudden violence, a man learned this habit at the worst possible moment from a master he did not want. He was no calmer than you. He was, in truth, far worse. What he was taught is the thing you have been missing your whole life, and I am going to give it to you exactly as it was given to him. If something here begins to land in you, a quiet like helps another person find this same fire. Share in the comments the moment someone got under your skin this week and you wish you had handled it differently. Do not hold back. Someone else needs your honesty tonight. And if this is the kind of truth you want more of, walk with this channel a while longer. Now, the road. His name was Kaname, and he was the fastest blade in his province, and he was a slave to every man who knew how to anger him. He had skill the others did not. His hands were quick past believing, but his face was a window with no shutter, and the older fighters learned this early. They did not beat Kaname with the sword. They beat him with a word, a small insult before the duel, a slow smile, a glance at his hands as if they had found them wanting. And Kaname, who could not be touched by steel, came apart at a syllable. The heat would rise in him, and his fast hands would grow frantic, and the calmer man across from him would simply wait for the storm to spend itself and then end him in a single clean motion. You know this man. You have been this man, untouchable in your own mind, and undone by the smallest thing the moment another person decides to reach for it. Think of the last time it happened to you. You had done the work. You knew your subject better than anyone in the room. And then someone said a small dismissive thing, a half smile, a sideways remark, and the ground tilted under you, and the careful man you had built that morning fell apart in front of everyone, and you spent the rest of the day running the moment over and over, wishing you had been someone else. The skill was there. The preparation was there. None of it mattered, because your inside spilled out across your face the instant a stranger reached for it. Kaname could not understand it. He trained harder. He grew faster. He told himself the next time he would not let it reach him. The way you tell yourself the same thing on the drive home from every room you lost. And the next time it reached him again, because speed was never his problem, and it was never yours. The problem was that everything he felt, he showed, and everything he showed, his enemy could use. He came to an old Ronin at the edge of a fishing village, a man with no name worth keeping and no school worth joining, because there was nowhere else left to go. The old man had once been something and was now nothing in particular, and he watched Kaname arrive in a cloud of wounded pride and asked him only one question. He asked, "When a stone is thrown into still water, what does the water do?" Kaname said, "It ripples, it moves." The old man said, "And that is why you lose. You are water that ripples at every stone. I will teach you to be water that swallows the stone and shows nothing. Stop here, because this is you. How many stones did you ripple at today? The comment that was not even meant for you. The tone you read into a message that was probably nothing. The slight, real or imagined, that you carried around for hours, that lived in your chest and changed your face and ruined an evening, while the person who threw it had already forgotten it existed. You are water that ripples at every stone, and the whole world can see the rings spreading out across your surface, and it is exhausting, and it is costing you more than you know. That is the secret no one taught you. The reaction is not strength. The reaction is the leak. Every time your face moves, you are handing the other man a map of your inside, and a man who has your map will walk straight to the room where you keep your fear and put his hand on the door. And here is the part that should sting. You believe your reaction is honest. You tell yourself that showing what you feel is a kind of integrity, that the people who hide their feelings are cold and false, and that your open face is the price of being real. This is how you have justified the leak for years. But there is nothing honest about being a window with no shutter. A man with no control over what he shows is not honest. He is merely unguarded. And the world does not reward the unguarded man with respect. It reads him and uses him and moves on. Honesty is choosing what to reveal. What you call honesty is only the absence of a choice. The old Ronin did not teach Kaname with the sword, not for a long time. He taught him with a single practice, and Kaname found it almost insulting, the way the proud always find the small things insulting. The old man would say a thing meant to wound him, a cut about his failures, a mockery of his pride, and Kaname's only task was this: before any answer, before any movement of the face, take one full breath, slow and complete, and let the heat arrive and pass through him like a wave through deep water, while his face stayed still. One breath. That was the whole of the habit. One breath between the strike and the response, held every single time, until it was no longer a thing he did, but a thing he was. The old man called it the still water. One breath, and in that breath you become unreadable. And the boy thought this was nothing. He had come to learn the way of the sword, and the old man had him learning the way of breathing while being insulted by a fisherman. But he obeyed because he had nowhere else to go. And slowly, inside the smallest space a man can find, the space of one held breath, something in him began to change. Not because he stopped feeling the heat, because he stopped letting the heat reach the surface where his enemy could read it. Hear this: because you have been chasing the wrong thing your whole life. You think the calm man does not feel what you feel. You think he was born without the heat, that some men are simply made cool and unbothered while you were made raw and reactive. This is the lie. The still water is not empty. There is a whole ocean underneath. The heat rises in him exactly as it rises in you. The difference is one breath wide. He has trained himself to put one full breath between the strike and the answer, and in that single breath he chooses what to show, instead of letting the strike choose for him. This is the difference between the man you are and the man who unsettles a room without trying. It is not that he is fearless. It is not that he is cold. It is that there is a gap between what reaches him and what he reveals. And inside that gap, he is free. You have no gap. The stone hits you and the ripple shows in the same instant. And so you are not a man making a choice. You are a surface being acted upon. Notice what this costs you, because it is far more than a few lost arguments. A man with no gap can never be trusted with anything that matters, not by others and not by himself. People do not bring their hardest problems to the man who comes apart at a hard word. They do not follow him into anything that requires nerve, because they have seen his face jump at nothing, and they know it will jump worse at something. And you feel this. You feel yourself being passed over for the calm ones, the steady ones, and you tell yourself it is unfair, that you are more capable than they are, and you are right, and it does not matter. Capability behind a leaking face is a sword behind glass. Everyone can see it. No one believes you will draw it when it counts. But the still water had a deeper power, and you need it more than the calm, because the calm is only the beginning. There was another student at the village in those days, a young man named Hideo, and where Kaname was all fire, Hideo was already cold, and everyone thought Hideo had the thing Kaname lacked. He never flinched, his face never moved. He could be insulted to his core and show you a wall of stone. And the other students envied this, and Kaname envied it most of all. And the old Ronin worried about Hideo more than about any of them, because Hideo had not built the still water. He had only built a mask. Underneath the wall, the ripples ran exactly as wild as Kaname's, but Hideo had learned to hide them, not to govern them. He swallowed every stone and let none of them go, and the swallowed stones gathered at the bottom of him, year after year, until the still surface hit a floor of jagged rock. He looked unshakable. He was the opposite. He was a man holding a scream behind his teeth, and a held scream does not make you dangerous. It makes you a vessel waiting to crack. You know a Hideo. Perhaps you have tried to be one. You decided, since you could not stop the heat, that you would at least stop showing it, and so you built a wall and stood behind it, gripping the bricks, while everything you refused to feel piled up in the dark behind your eyes. That is not the still water. That is a dam with no river out, and a dam with no river out does not stand forever. It bursts on the wrong day, at the wrong person, over the wrong small thing, and everyone wonders where the quiet man's rage came from, when it was there the whole time, held. Watch what the difference did to the two of them. A season came when both men were tested, not by the sword, but by the long, grinding pressure of an unfair world, the kind that does not strike once, but presses for months. Hideo held. He held and held, his face perfect, his wall unbroken. And then one ordinary morning, a child knocked over his bowl of rice, and the whole held year came out of him at once, on a child, over rice, and the village saw at last what had been behind the wall. He was gone within the week, ruined not by the great thing, but by the small one, because he had hidden his ripples instead of learning to release them. And Kaname, the one who had once come apart at a single word, sat through that same hard season with the heat rising in him 1,000 times and passing through him 1,000 times, one breath at a time, felt and released, felt, and released, so that nothing gathered, nothing built, nothing waited to crack. He was not holding a scream. He had no scream to hold. The stones went into the deep water and were swallowed and were gone. Let that overturn the lie you have lived by. You think your two choices are to explode or to suppress, to show the heat or to stuff it down behind a wall. And both of these are the reaction, just wearing different clothes. The explosion shows the ripple. The suppression hides the ripple while it poisons the water. The still water is a third thing, and almost no one knows it exists. You feel the heat fully. You let it move through you completely. And in the one breath it takes to pass, you have neither shown it nor swallowed it. You have let it go. You do not need to become cold. Hideo was cold, and the cold cracked him. You need to become deep, deep enough that the stones the world throws at you fall through your surface and keep falling and never reach a floor, because you do not store them, because you release each one in the space of a single breath before it can become a stone you carry. And you have a floor full of stones right now. Be honest about it. Every slight you never let go of. Every word someone said years ago that still has the power to heat your blood. Every grudge you have carried so long it feels like part of you. You think these stones are your history, your reasons, the evidence of all you have endured. They are not. They are the weight that makes you crack on the wrong day over the wrong small thing. The held year that comes out on a child in a bowl of rice. The deep man is not the man with the most reasons to be angry. He is the man who refused to keep a single stone, who let each one fall through and disappear on the day it was thrown, so that today when the new stone comes, there is nothing waiting underneath for it to land on. There is one more thing the old Ronin taught Kaname, and you have to hear it, because it is the part that makes a man mentally dangerous in the truest sense. You think your reactions are private. You think your flinch is just a thing that happens inside you, your own business, hurting no one but yourself. You are wrong. Your reaction is a transaction. Every time you ripple, you pay. And the man who made you ripple collects. The old man sat the boy down by the water one evening and told him the truth that changes how you stand among other people forever. He said, "When a man can make you react, he has found the rope tied to your hands. He pulls a little, and you jerk. He learns the exact weight to pull, and he owns the distance between your calm and your rage. And he can walk you across that distance anytime he chooses, in front of anyone he likes. A man who reacts is a man on a rope. And the still water is the blade that cuts the rope, not his rope, yours. Sit with that, because it names every room you have ever lost. The people who get under your skin are not stronger than you. They are not smarter. They have simply found your rope, the word or the tone or the subject that makes you jerk, and they pull it because it works, because you taught them it works. Every time you let them see the ripple, you handed them the rope yourself, one reaction at a time, and now you wonder why they will not stop. And there is a person in your life right now who holds that rope. You know who it is. The one who can ruin your whole day with a single sentence, who knows the exact subject to raise and the exact moment to raise it, who has watched you react for so long that they could play you in their sleep. You have spent years thinking the answer was to avoid them, or to finally say the perfect cutting thing back, or to make them understand how much they hurt you. None of that has ever worked, and none of it ever will. Because all of it is more rope, more reaction, more proof that you can be moved. The only thing that has ever cut the rope of a man like that is the one thing you have never done. You have never simply received the pull and shown them nothing, breath after breath, until the rope went dead in their hand and they finally understood, in a way no argument could ever teach them, that the toy they had been playing with for years has quietly become a man. And here's what the old Ronin knew that you do not yet feel in your bones. The moment you stop reacting, the rope goes slack in their hands. They pull and nothing moves. They pull harder and still nothing. And a strange thing happens that you have to see to believe. They become uncertain. The man who could always move you can no longer move you. And not knowing why, he begins to feel the ground shift under his own feet. You have not raised your voice. You have not threatened. You have simply stopped paying, and the man who lived off your reactions finds his power was never his at all. It was on loan from you, and you have called the loan. This is what mentally dangerous truly means. Not that you frighten people, that you cannot be moved by them. A man who cannot be provoked cannot be controlled, and a man who cannot be controlled is the most unsettling presence in any room, because every tool the others use to manage each other simply does not work on him. They cannot flatter him into a corner, because he does not need their flattery. They cannot anger him into a mistake, because the anger reaches him and passes through and shows nothing. He is a still surface they cannot read, and a man they cannot read is a man they quietly, deeply fear. And understand, this is a kind of power that asks nothing of your size or your speed or your station. The loudest man in the room is spending energy with every word, performing his strength, and the performance itself is the proof he does not have it, because a man who truly cannot be moved has no need to announce it. You have met this. You have walked into a room and felt, before a word was spoken, that one person in it was not to be trifled with, and it was almost never the loudest. It was the quiet one in the corner whose face gave away nothing, whose stillness was not emptiness but depth, who watched everything and revealed nothing, and seemed somehow to already know the outcome of whatever game the others were playing. That quiet was not the absence of power. That quiet was the whole of it, and that quiet is available to you beginning with one breath. Now let me take you to the hardest test of Kaname's life, because everything he learned by the water was about to be tried in a place where one ripple meant death. The years passed, and Kaname was no longer the boy who came apart at a word. He had built the still water so deep that the old fighters who once beat him with a syllable found their syllables falling into him and vanishing. And word of this reached a man named Genji, a duelist who had never lost, and who won not with his blade but with his tongue. Genji had killed a dozen better swordsmen by enraging them first, by finding the rope and pulling it until the man rushed in blind. He heard there was a fighter who could not be enraged, and he took it as an insult, and he came to find out if it was true. This is your world. This is the exact kind of test the world is always preparing for you, though it rarely comes with a sword. It comes as the person who knows precisely how to bait you, in the meeting, in the family, in the argument you cannot win because you lose yourself before it even begins. The world is full of men who win by making you react, who have no real strength except the strength you lend them when you let them in. And one day you will face one who is a master of it, and on that day, only the still water will save you. Genji and Kaname stood across from each other in the gray light of morning, and Genji began to do the only thing he knew. He spoke. He went after everything. The failures, the shame of the early years. The dead Kaname had failed to protect. He reached for every rope a man could have, and he was an artist, and he was merciless, and he had ended better men than Kaname with far less. And here is what you must understand about that morning, because it is the morning you are walking toward in your own life. Genji was not wrong about Kaname. Every cruel thing he said was true. He had found the real failures, the real shame, the real dead. This is what the people who bait you do. They do not invent your weak places. They press on the ones that are already there, the true ones, the ones that hurt precisely because they are true. And you have always believed that because the cut is true, the wound is justified, that you are right to bleed when someone names a thing you are genuinely ashamed of. But the still water does not require the stone to be false. It swallows the true stones and the false ones alike. The truth of the cut is not your enemy. Your reaction to the cut is your enemy, and the truth changes nothing about how you meet it. One breath receives the true word and the lie with the same calm, because the breath is not arguing with the word. It is simply refusing to be moved by it. And Kaname breathed. Each cut landed, and the heat rose, exactly as it always had, because he had never become cold, because the ocean under the surface was as deep and feeling as it had ever been. And each time the heat rose, one full breath received it, and let it pass, and showed Genji nothing. No flinch, no tightening of the jaw, no flash behind the eyes for the enemy to read. Genji pulled the rope and felt no man on the other end of it. He pulled harder and harder and emptied himself of every weapon he owned. And the still water swallowed all of it and showed him a calm surface and his own reflection looking back. And it was Genji who broke. The man who had never been touched by his own game found himself, for the first time, facing an opponent he could not move, and the not being able to move him unmoved Genji. He grew uncertain. He grew rattled. He, the master of the rope, found himself jerking at the end of one he did not know was tied to him, and in his confusion his blade came late. And Kaname, who had spent nothing, who was whole and still and entirely his own, ended it in a single clean motion. He had won the duel in the months by the water. Long before the morning it was fought. Understand what this means for you, because it is the whole reason the habit is worth building. The still water did not just keep Kaname calm, it made him the only truly dangerous man on that road, because he was the one man who could not be reached. And a man who cannot be reached cannot be beaten by anyone who fights the way the world fights, which is to find your ripple and pull. Every person who has ever controlled you through your reaction. Take away the reaction, and you take away every rope at once. So let me leave the road now, and the village, and the boy who became the still water, because the story was never the point. You were always the point. You and your readable face, and the one breath that stands between you and a life no one can move you out of. Here is what to do, and feel how small it is, because the smallness is the whole reason it works, and the whole reason you have overlooked it. The next time a stone lands, and it will land today, you will not answer. Not yet. You will take one breath, one full, slow, complete breath, and you will let the heat arrive, because it will arrive, and you will not fight it, and you will not hide it. You will simply let it move through you and out of you in the space of that one breath, and only then, from the far side of it, will you choose what to do. One breath. That is the whole of the habit. Everything else is built on it. And in that one breath, 3 things happen at once that will change your life. You become unreadable because your face has not yet moved. You become free because you are choosing your response instead of being dragged into it. and you cut the rope because the person who threw the stone is watching for the ripple and finding a still surface and learning in that instant that you are not a man he can move. You will find the still water is needed everywhere because the stones are everywhere. It is the comment in the meeting that is meant to put you in your place. Breathe and answer from the far side, level and unbothered, and watch them lose their footing. It is the family member who knows the exact word that has worked on you since you were a child. Breathe and let the word fall through the deep water and feel, perhaps for the first time, the rope go slack in their hand. It is the message that makes your heart pound before you have even finished reading it. Breathe and let the pounding pass and reply as the still water and not as the ripple. Every one of these is the same stone. Every one is swallowed the same way. You are not learning 100 calms. You are learning one breath and bringing it to 100 provocations. And watch what it does to how people hold you, because this is the part that will quietly rearrange your whole life. Right now, people speak to you knowing they can move you, and there is a faint contempt in it, the ease of handling a thing that always reacts. But a man who breathes, a man whose face does not jump at the bait, a man who receives the worst you can say and returns to you a level and unhurried calm, becomes a man other people grow careful around, not because he threatens, because they cannot find his strings. They reach for the rope, and there is no rope, and something in them straightens up and begins, without quite knowing why, to treat him as a man who is not to be played with. You will fail some days. Hear me clearly. You will fail. The stone will land and the ripple will show before the breath can catch it, and you will feel the old heat win and the old shame after. Kaname failed for years. The failing is not the end of the still water. Abandoning the breath is the end of it. Failing and returning to the one breath at the very next stone, without drama, without despair, that is the practice. That is the whole of it. You do not need to be unmoved every time. You need only to keep returning faster each time to the breath. And slowly, in moments so small, you will be almost ashamed to call them victories. The water in you will grow deeper. The stones that once made rings across your whole surface will fall through and vanish. The people who once owned your moods will pull their old ropes and feel nothing on the other end. The face that once told the whole world your weather will become a still gray surface that gives away nothing and quietly holds everything. And you will not remember the day it changed, because it will not have changed in a day. It will have changed the way deep water is made, one stone swallowed at a time, one breath at a time, on 1,000 ordinary days when someone reached for your ripple and found, to their surprise, that the ripple was gone. Imagine yourself 1 year from tonight, not turned cold, not turned into a wall, not a man pretending he does not feel. A man who feels everything and shows only what he chooses. Picture the room you always lose, and picture yourself still in it, unbothered. The heat rising and passing through you unseen while the others wonder why their usual buttons no longer work. Picture the rope going slack in every hand that ever held one on you. That man is not a fantasy. He is not waiting on a calmer temperament, or an easier life, or a thicker skin you were never given. He is on the far side of a single breath, taken again and again, until the taking of it is simply who you are. That is the warrior habit that makes you mentally dangerous, not a colder heart, not a harder face. One breath held in the space between the strike and the answer, until you become a man no stone can move and no rope can pull, the still water that feels the whole ocean and shows the world a calm and unreadable surface. People test you. They will test you tomorrow and the day after for the rest of your life. The only question left is the one you have never had an answer to until now. When the next stone lands, what will your surface do? Take the breath.